The movie begins on a sunny note with an American family, Paddy, Lucy, and their daughter Agnes, vacationing in Tuscany. Here they meet Patrick and Karen, a seemingly warm Dutch couple, and their quiet son Abel, who cannot speak. The two families quickly hit it off. They share a quite close bond. Their bond grows close and close together. As the time passes, and we can see really they try to become good friend of each other, and they really spend a good time at this vacation place. And later we can see in the movie the Patrick invites them to visit his home that is present in the Netherlands. At first it feels like the start of a new friendship because it does really seem that, but this is a kind of very horror oriented thriller film and nothing seems as good from the surface itself. But when they arrive at Patrick's and Karen's remote countryside house, things takes a dark turn. Patrick's behavior became increasingly inappropriate and kind of weird, and they mocking Lucy's vegetarianism, and they're spying on her in her shower, and even ignore boundaries when their daughter Agnes is found sleeping naked next to him. So this kind of thing just sparks many kind of question in our mind as a viewer. And Lucy senses danger. She seems uncomfortable, and but Paddy brushes it off, chalking it up to the cultural differences she says, but this is kind of inappropriate. You know that. This reluctance to confront the situation sets the stage for a kind of tragedy you'd expect in the latter half of this film, and things start to escalate when the Paddy stumbles upon a hidden cabin on that property, and inside he finds a very kind of chilling evidence, and that evidence is luggage, photos, and videos of the previous families who visited Patrick's and Karen. You can see there are various kind of photos, and there you can see various kind of kids, men's and women's. There are all kinds of characters, and it becomes really clear that what they have done this before is isn't the very good thing. And Abel isn't their biological son, he is another child they abducted and mutilated. Now Paddy realizes his family is next. As soon as they realize this, as Paddy, Lucy, and Agnes attempt to flee, they are captured by the couple itself. And what follows is the brutal events as the time goes on in the movie. Paddy and Lucy are stoned to death in a ditch while Agnes is mutilated. Her tongue is cut out just like Abel, and she is forced into a horrific new life as their child. While Patrick and Carrie prepare to target another family, it's a gut wrenching ending that leaves you questioning how far people can go in the name of politeness. At, it, at its core, Speak No Evil isn't just about a kind of physical horror you would expect, it's commentary on human behavior. It explores the danger of ignoring the red flags, the fear of confrontation, maybe, and how politeness can even become a deadly enemy or kind of danger thing you would not expect sometime. This is something you would not expect out of any ordinary thing. If you are on vacation or something, then you get and meet a couple, and then you form very good friendship with them, a kind of very good bond, and then they just invite randomly you to join on them on their house that is present on the countryside, and things turn out to be very worse than you imagine. And the film really pushes its character and the audience to the breaking point, leaving us with a haunting question: when should we stop being polite? Despite Orina leaving the remote Netherlands residence, the family was convinced to stick around after returning to collect the doll. But it was then Patrick confessed to several of his lies, such as being a doctor when he is unemployed and objects to real work but simply wanted to impress them. That's it. The real spoiler twist of Speak No Evil come when it was uncovered that a cabin loaded with empty luggage, cameras, and picture of Patrick and Karen with various couple and young children on their holidays was seen, and it became very clear that Patrick and Karen were in fact serial killers. They were luring families to their remote home to slay their parents and abduct their young children. And once it was uncovered, Patrick and Karen's supposed son Abel drowned in a pool, as we can see uh, when the our suspect couple were driving car. As soon as the girl child realizes that her friend, that is Abel, who is in danger, is just pushed into water or the pool, so the car stops and they get back to her, and this is where we get sense that the couple are trapped again, and they both know each other that what they were doing at the time. He and his family attempted to flee the house and only to be they were caught by then. But there's certain conflict in which the Patrick beat the uh, characters, that is the serial killer characters, and Abel's babysitter also pinned down Lucy, and Karen cut off the Agnes' tongue, presumably as they previously had done to Abel after abducting him and killing his family. This left the scene with the tongueless Agnes and Lucy were placed into ditch by a serial killer couple and stoned to death. It was from here that Patrick and Karen were left to repeat their killing cycles, and this continued, with Agnes set to take on Abel's former role as the mute and abused child while other families targeted for their next murder. This is what I personally think how their motto of abduction and the game behind doing such was uncovered, their philosophy behind that. We leave the action just as the family is driving away from the house of horror or whatever the event has happened in the countryside of the home of the serial killers that is present in the Netherlands. So we don't get to see exactly what they do next, but we can guess though that they may seek the medical attention and call the concerned authority, that is maybe calling the police, cops, or whatever the authority that is necessary for this kind of action, because they are serial killer at last, who would no doubt eventually discover just how many families Paddy and these two serial killers had destroyed in an effort to build their own perfect family with a captive child. And but there a deeper emotional kind of connection that's also worth addressing. In the course of trying to survive the fight against Paddy and her wife, Paddy and his wife Ben and Lucy were also able to navigate some issues of their own, namely the ability to trust one another following Lucy's past indiscretions. As we can see from there, that is evident in the throughout the film. It's not clear from the ending if they are able to completely repair their marriage, but in fighting for their family, they have both helped Agnes to grow up and learn to trust each other when everything is on the line again, on the same path again, to work really good and well. And that's not a perfect solution, but it's a start, even if they had to go through the hell out of to get there. This is a remake of a 2022 original Danish film, so it is kind of, you can say, a remake, a little bit altered according to the choice of viewers, because this has to be released in grand scale, and it just turned out to be a very good movie. Specifically, if you speak that, it's really great. The cinematography was great, the sound score was great, acting was good, writing was good. I felt awkward in some of the scenes that may not even comply the logic that why they should have been there at first place, but other than that, the film was really good. Talking about the original one, the original Speak No Evil was a movie that hinges on its ending, and ill-fitted characters are stripped and beaten to death, and they were left in pit and dying, knowing that their Agnes will lose her tongue and was forced to live a life in a servitude to their killers as their won't be daughter. It's not the ending that anyone want to see, but it's the one that serves the purpose of the moral, that is the ethics of the film. And it's what's really good film. I mean, if you haven't watched the first part and it's your first time you're watching Speak No Evil, then I think you should go for that movie. The movie really was grounded, and it's a decent one time watchable. It's for English speaking or understanding people, so you know that the first version was in Danish and it was not English dubbed, it was available in English subtitles, so they make new in 2024, and it was released 2 months back, and it was hit because it grossed nearly $80 million worldwide. And acting was brilliant, especially of McAvoy. It was brilliant acted by him. The role of that kind of psychopathic serial killer husband and her friend too, I mean her female co-star too, they both really played the role very well. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more. This 2024 adaptation of Speak No Evil, and it was directed by James Watkins, and it has received a kind of mixed but general positive review for its tense and unsettling portrayal of the psychological horror genre. And that I already said that the film is the remake of the 2022 Danish version, with significant changes were done to the story's tone and ending. So when we compare it with 2022, because the budget was quite more, I guess. So it really looked good on the screen itself. And due to a kind of a little sluggish and different story given to the character arc, the movie seems deviating away from the original concept, but still it was quite entertaining. And James McAvoy really delivers a standout performance, skillfully balancing the charisma and menace, and making his character. We can feel that for that character, the evilness in his eyes, those action. He really balances charisma and menace, making his character both captivating and deeply unsettling. It was really good, and Watkin uses his sound design and dark humor to heighten the tension while exploring themes of politeness and social boundaries, which are straight, which are stretched to horrifying extreme. The film also diverges from the original in its climatic moments, as I referred earlier, and offering action-oriented and even-handed confrontation. While some critics appreciated the added twist and the balance of the humor and the horror, others, including me, felt the changes diluted the bleak impact that the first one had, which I watched 1 year earlier. It really left a deep imprint on me. Whenever I think about the film, it really was good, so it always has a good memory on my mind back in time when I watched 1 year earlier. Nonetheless, it remains still a gripping thriller and with strong performance, good cast, and suspenseful story. And if you enjoy psychological horror with a mix of dark humor and intense suspense, the movie is really worth of a watch.